So I just bought the cheapest 2020 Tesla Model X in the entire country. Believe it or not, this was over $100,000 brand new. And since then, it's fallen about $80,000 in value, which is crazy for a car with gull-wing doors, a 300-mile range, air suspension, $5,000 rims, heated seats and steering wheel, the ability to drive itself. I could go on. That's why when I had the opportunity to buy this six-figure clean title one-owner car for a net cost of just $14,490, I couldn't say no. And I'll be honest, after driving it around for the last few days, I am never buying a brand new Tesla ever again, because what's happening in the used car market right now is absolutely insane. Oh, and also big thank you to the Gemini Credit Card for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. All right, so first of all, let's just get this out of the way. For the last few years, EV values have been plummeting. Like, it's been really bad. As an example of this, if you were to go and buy any car, it's common that you lose about 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. But Tesla, on the other hand, is way worse, with some figures showing that they fall 3 times faster than any other car brand. Why is that? Well, there's a few reasons. First, EV technology changes extremely quickly. That's why it could take delivery of a brand new car, and shortly afterwards, new tech gets announced with maybe a slightly more improved battery, better range, a competitor offers a little bit more, and pretty soon your car becomes outdated. Now yes, Tesla does update these cars remotely, and they certainly do get a lot better over time than when you first buy it, but that still doesn't get you the newest cameras, the best hardware, or the fastest charging speeds. Second, EVs have been heavily subsidized by tax incentives. In this case, it was found that EVs receive twice the incentives as gas-burning cars, and up until recently, that was the equivalent of getting a $7,500 tax rebate or more on every new vehicle. This meant that theoretically, you could order a brand new $50,000 electric vehicle and then get $7,500 back on your taxes, another $7,500 from the state, and more money back depending on whether or not you traded in a gas vehicle. That's how so many people were able to buy a $50,000 car for $35,000 driving off the lot. And in those cases, it made no sense to buy a used vehicle when the new one costs just as much. So as a result, used car prices fell pretty quickly. Third, a lot of buyers worry about battery life. Here's the thing, the more you drive and the more you charge your car, the more the battery just naturally degrades over time. And that's something a lot of buyers worry about. Like, take my Model 3 as an example. When I bought that car brand new, it had a top range of 240 miles. Now it only has a top range of 190 miles, which means I've lost 50 miles of range in the last 6 years. And fourth, here's the biggest one. Tesla aggressively cut the prices of new cars to boost sales, but that instantly destroyed the value of the used cars. For example, this was over $100,000 new in 2020, which is $125,000 adjusted for inflation. But now you could find one for just $85,000. The same applies to the Model S. The Plaid used to be $150,000 after taxes, but now you could buy one for $95,000. Finally, fifth, there's been some controversy around Elon Musk, which has affected the resale value of used Teslas. Like, I see these bumper stickers all the time, plastered on cars in certain cities. And yeah, that's taken a negative hit to resale value, at the same time that more Teslas constantly flood the market, so prices keep falling. Although the biggest difference came down to something I wasn't fully expecting, and that would be hardware 3 versus hardware 4. For those not following, Tesla is basically one big giant computer. And pre-2023, these cars had hardware 3, which enabled full self-driving, smart summons, a ton of other features, you get the idea. Now, I previously bought full self-driving for my 2019 Tesla Model 3, and I gotta say, I was not impressed. I never used it. It was very glitchy. It drove so slow that it pissed off everybody behind me, and I kept hoping that updates would just make the car better. But it never quite did. Instead, in late 2023, Tesla announced hardware 4, which was generally seen as a lot better. The driving was a bit smoother, the camera resolution was improved, it was more capable, and in a way, it future-proofed the updates that Tesla would eventually come out with. To make matters even more extreme, Tesla's rumored to be coming out with hardware 5 sometime in 2027. So if you buy a new car right now. There's a chance in a year from now, your car becomes the outdated tech, and as a result, resale prices fall. That's why you could find incredible deals on used Teslas right now. Like, check this out. Here's a $110,000 Model S for $50,000, a $100,000 Model X for $55,000, a $45,000 Model 3 for $20,000. At this point, you're basically getting the exact same car with a few slightly older features for a 50 to 60% discount from new, or sometimes more depending on the mileage. And I will say, from my own Tesla ownership experience, besides slightly reduced range, the mileage really doesn't make that big of a difference. That's why when this came up for a net cost of just $14,490, I jumped on it. So in terms of how I got this deal, whether or not it's worth it to buy a used Tesla, and why this car specifically has one of the best tax write-offs ever in the world, you're going to want to hear this. Although before we go into that, when you start to see just how much stuff like this falls in price, it really makes you rethink how you spend money in general. Like, the last thing I'd want to do is save money here and be inefficient everywhere else. That's why I become very intentional about which cards I use, how to track rewards, and where to get the best value. This is why our sponsor, the Gemini Credit Card, has been the card I've been using nonstop this year. For those unaware, instead of getting traditional credit card points, this allows me to get cryptocurrency back on every purchase, which means I could earn Bitcoin every time I go to restaurants, charge at the supercharger, buy groceries, you name it. Or in this case, you could earn up to 4% back on transportation, 3% back on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else with no annual fee. Plus, Bitcoin rewards earned and held in the Gemini credit card have actually appreciated 279% on average. This makes it easy to gain a little exposure to Bitcoin without having to time the market or buy it yourself. Plus, it comes in 6 unique stainless steel colors. You can get black, silver, rose gold, Bitcoin orange, XRP, or the brand new Solana edition. All you have to do is swipe your card like you would normally, and that's it. And if Bitcoin isn't your thing, you could also select from more than 50 other cryptocurrencies that you could switch to at any time. Again, without exaggeration, I've been using this card nonstop this year, and I've already earned hundreds of dollars of Bitcoin. So feel free to check out the description for more information on rates and fees, or see if you're eligible with no impact to your credit score. So if you'd like to instantly earn Bitcoin or select from dozens of other options, sign up today at gemini.com/Graham or click the link down below in the description. And for a limited time, you could get $200 worth of free Bitcoin when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days. Again, that information is down below. Thank you so much, and now let's get back to the video. All right, now, in terms of why I bought this car specifically, let's talk about tax write-offs. Because this car weighs more than 6,000 pounds, it qualifies for what's called the Section 179 deduction, which means the entire cost of the car could be written off your taxes for business use in the year it's placed in service. This suggests that I'd be able to buy this car for $23,000, use it 100% for business use, write off the entire cost of the car against my taxes in a 37% tax bracket, and my net cost at the end of the year comes out to just $14,490 out of pocket. On top of that, since I'm located in Las Vegas, and this is a private party car transaction, there is no sales tax on the purchase of the vehicle. So beyond normal registration, the price I pay for this car is the price I pay. That's it. Second, we all know it's not a good idea to buy a car just for the sake of getting a write-off, because after all, I'm still spending more than $14,000 out of pocket. But one of my biggest issues with the Model 3 is simply a lack of storage space. Like, there have been so many times when I'm moving all the podcast equipment behind us and it just won't fit. Or the Model 3 has this bar that really limits how high it could stack things. That's why this Model X solves that problem entirely. Third, lately, we've been doing a lot of filming outside of the studio that requires us to drive a very long distance to see our guests. That means if I take the Model 3, even though it says I have 190 miles of range, when you're on the freeway driving fast with AC blasting, you might only get about 130 miles, which requires us to stop quite a bit and charge. And that's not ideal. But this car, on the other hand, gets about 290 miles of range, or closer to 200 when you're driving on the freeway. And even though it's not a ton more, that extra 70 miles really makes a huge difference. Finally, fourth, this car belonged to a good friend of mine, Jeremy Financial Education. He bought the car brand new in 2020, single owner, took great care of it, zero issues whatsoever, and he was going to sell it because he just bought the brand new Model X. So when he texted me with what CarMax was offering him, I basically just said, hey, instead of selling it to CarMax, sell it to me and I'll buy it right now. And that's how we ended up here. I mean, to me, $23,000 was pretty much wholesale price. And I figured I can't lose on the car because identical cars are selling online for closer to $30,000. So my mindset was that I'd be able to buy this car, drive it a few years, and by the time I want to sell it for something else, it would be worth, at minimum, the price I already paid for it. This means, in a weird way, I could get a totally free car for a few years to drive around as much as I want, and then by the time I sell it, I'm not going to lose any money. Plus, it also solves all the problems that my Model 3 had. Of course, because this is a bit older, there are a few small differences I'm not the biggest fan of. Like, when you turn, you don't get the camera showing your blind spot. This year doesn't have the keyless entry with your phone, and the tech in the Model 3 honestly seems a lot more advanced, even though this car is a year older. But beyond that, this car is absolutely phenomenal, and for $23,000 before write-offs, it's 100% worth it. Now finally, in terms of whether or not you should buy a used Tesla, I'm going to be honest, at these prices, it just seems like a no-brainer. I mean, mechanically, these cars are flawless. They drive great. They're easy to come by. The charging infrastructure is incredible. And even though the build quality isn't the best, who cares when you're able to buy them for a fraction of what they cost new? Like, here's a one-year-old Cybertruck for $40,000 off. This looks almost identical to a new Model S for $19,000. Here's a Model Y long range for $22,000, or a newer Model 3 for $26,000. Again, these are all almost 50% off their original MSRP for what's considered to be almost the same car. Personally, I have had nothing but a great experience with my Tesla ownership, and if I've learned one thing, it's just this. Don't buy a new Tesla after the tax rebates go away, simply because they lose so much money. Like, unless you just don't care about money, or you get a tax rebate that makes sense, it's usually best just to buy a slightly used car that's 2 to 5 years old, let someone else take the depreciation hit, and then you could just enjoy the car without worrying about losing a fortune. Or really, at the end of the day, it just comes down to this. Even though Teslas are pretty good at holding a charge, they're not pretty good at holding value. Yeah, if you appreciate the pun, please hit the like button or subscribe, because I forgot to ask you to do that earlier, and it actually really helps out the entire channel. If you've enjoyed this, I spent forever filming this, so please hit the like button, subscribe, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, because I will do my best to read and reply to as many of you as I can. Thank you so much, and until next time.